Well, I'm Martel. I'm a technical sourcer. I also come from a film background, screenwriting background that deals very heavily in structures and scripting sequences like Act One, Act Two, Act Three. That's your typical, uh, three-act structure. You also have eight-act sequences as well that delve into Act One, sequences one and two. Act Two would be sequences three, four, and five, and six. And then like a Act Three would be your seven and eight if you're going with a eight sequence structure. And what I do is I bring a lot of that into my sourcing messages, or even when I'm reading resumes or profiles on LinkedIn, I read them as more so scripts, trying to figure out what type of story is this person telling me, so I can kind of maybe get some nuances that some people may not catch there. And kind of give you a brief things that I've been in. I've worked a couple of screenplays that I won awards for in the past. I produced a String Actor Guild SAG TV pilot with the Hutchins starring Michael H. Cole there. And one thing you may have seen me in last recently is Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Uh, I play one of the Ravengers on the ship. So that was a lot of fun. Okay, kind of getting into the introduction of this, I would say in today's market, a lot of sourcing isn't just about finding candidates. You have to also have the ability to craft and tell a story that, invites that person to come along a journey with you. Like when you're reading their LinkedIn profiles, kind of, when you're skimming across them, seeing what they like. I can give you an example of this. At one point, in one of my last roles, I was looking at somebody's profile and I saw that. They enjoy speaking a lot about VMWs. So when I sent them a LinkedIn message, email, I also said, hey, I talked to them about the role, but I prefaced that with a question about if you could have any, Volkswagen, I think it was Beetles that they liked, what would be your dream car? And I also let him know my dream car, which would be a 1938 Phantom Corsair. That's something I would like to have one day, but that's a way that you can use storytelling techniques to create irresistible talent invitations to emotionally engage candidates, personalize those messages, showcasing opportunities that give you a little bit more ability to craft concise, impactful emails that resonate with people. Who one of the power of storytelling is emotional engagement. As I previously mentioned, that taps into the emotions of a person, and which is also a powerful motivator. I believe that most candidates are more likely to respond when they feel a connection to that role, and by sharing how the role impacts the bigger picture or their individual careers. You can do this through your workplace page as well. If you have like volunteering opportunities and you see that person is heavily invested in that, send that along with your email. Like I said, you don't want to load it down with links, but also send that in there and they can see how, okay, how I can place myself within this. Cool. And nextly, I'll say relatability. When you tell stories that mirror the candidate's own experiences, you make the role more tangible. For example, sharing a story how somebody similar grew in that role and succeeded, and you can inspire a candidate to envision their own success within your company. I believe that also builds trust. It aligns with you align with the candidate values and inspires ownership within that role. Let's see. Also, I have to move this. Let me go back real quick. Ooh, may have to escape that. There we go. So I can see. I think I have these videos here. Let me minimize those. There we go. Awesome. As well as authenticity. In today's market, candidates are looking for transparency and realness. Uh, your ability to craft stories that are true reflections of your company culture by avoiding buzzwords and oversold promises. Authenticity builds and shows candidates their value for who they are. Also, it strengthens the employer brand. I believe a lot of times, like how would I say this? Like hey, you watch a film trailer for a movie, and then you go actually see that movie, and then you're like, wait a minute, this is not the movie I was expecting. That can sometimes happen in messages that you send your candidates. You send one message, and then they get to talking to you or find out a little bit more about the company, and they found that there's a misalignment there. So you want to be able to craft emails and messages that align with your employer brand and make sure they're on topic. It promotes general interest, and I believe also reduces candidate drop off as well. Part of that, cool. Nextly, I would say crafting a compelling narrative. Uh, from writing scripts, a good bit and a lot. That's one thing I enjoy. I enjoy world building, character building within those scripts and screenplays. I think one of the strongest thing that you can do is craft a compelling narrative. I think believe Game of Thrones did a great job of this with their initial seasons. They were able to bring people into that world, and that's what you want to do when you send out emails, messages, or emails, because the narrative frames. Uh, Widely recognized in storytelling as what can be applied to sourcing, where you position the candidate as the protagonist, embarking on a new challenge or a role where they, learn, grow, and make a difference within the company. The company acting as their support system. In screenplay writing or in film, you have your main character, then you have your support characters that help that person, reach their goal. I believe this also engages candidates emotionally, highlights growth potential, and frames the role as transformative. Again, like I mentioned earlier, personalization is a very good key to this. Every candidate is motivated by, different motivators, different factors. By understanding candidates' background, priorities, you can craft a story that directly speaks to them and their needs, increasingly the likelihood of engagement. It shows general interest, boosts likelihood of response, increases candidate relevance. Um, one thing I like to do, one thing I don't like to do when I'm sending out emails or messages, I know of the perfect role for you. Um, because when I get that, like, what does this person know about me other than, maybe my LinkedIn profile? How do they know? How do you know how I define a perfect role for me? How do you know what my motivators are? I always say like could be, if I have to, I say could be a perfect role. But I never say directly, hey, this is the perfect role for you. I don't know that without having a conversation with you and finding out what actually motivates you. Again, this showcases a lot of opportunity. Again, as previously mentioned, highlights growth, emphasizes impact and value, and motivates long-term commitment. And nextly, I want to talk a little bit about delivering invitation emails as log lines. Log lines in film and screenplay writing are a 1 to 2 sentence. Uh, uh, I would call it a marketing tool, basically. So I'm sending this out to producers or writing agencies trying to get a writing agent, and it's basically to hook them into those 1 to 2 words. Like one of my most recent screenplays that I call Pecans, Peaches, and Peanuts. And the log line for that is get ready for a hilarious battle of wits, charm, farming skills as a conceited peanut farmer and a hardworking pecan farmer compete for the heart of a peach farmer. The stakes are high, and with the loser risking everything, the competition, their love, and their farm. It's meant to be a romantic comedy. Still working on that log line so I can kind of get it a little bit down and be able to, to like, hey, this is the beginning, this is your conflict, and this is the ending. Uh, but that's one I've been working on recently. Like I said, really trying to hone down that log line on that one though. Uh, as mentioned, as I previously mentioned, log lines are usually concise and impactful. As well, emails need to convey the essence of opportunity in a brief and captivating way. Logline summarizes an entire movie in 1 to 2 sentences, focus on the most exciting and essential elements to grab attention. Emails should do the same by highlighting the most compelling aspects of a role, whether the challenge or growth potential or unique company culture within a few short lines, as it grabs attention quickly, avoids information overload, and maximizes engagement instantly. Uh, as well as like hook the audience. A good log line hooks the viewer. Similarly with an email, this is should spark enough curiosity that the candidate is motivated uh, to know more about the opportunity. Use intriguing details, leave the candidate wanting more, wanting to continue the conversation without overwhelming too much with information overload, as I would call it. Uh, as Lori previously mentioned, I think unique value proposition, I said clear value proposition. Uh, a law line immediately communicates the core conflict, the state's resolution. Similarly, an email should communicate the value of the role to the candidate. What's in it for them? What makes the opportunity different? Frame, I would say you could possibly frame the role as a high stakes challenge, or um, you could say life-changing opportunity, or there's a couple of different terms you could use for that. But making sure to speak directly to the candidate's motivation. And lastly, call to action as a teacher and teaser. In the movies, a log line often ends with a tease, making people want to see what happens next. In your emails, uh, I would say you could use the same. You can use a clear yet enticing call to action. Instead of simply asking the candidate to apply, you might tease them. You might tease a conversation where you can reveal more exciting details about the role, piquing their curiosity and getting them engaged. What this does is sparks interest, curiosity and interest, encourages immediate response, and keeps the conversation open. Here I have a little example. Said James, let's film the next scenes of your career. Uh, when I'm writing like emails, I kind of do like to kind of brief their profiles and to kind of see what they're interested in. Somebody, hey, mentions they're interested in hiking a lot. I might throw in hiking as a trek, hiking term in there as well, so it catches their attention. Or I use the word explore. James, let's explore this role. Instead of would you like to explore? That's a question. I like to be more uh, direct with them. So like, hey, let me go check this out. And here I kind of like I say picture this so they can go ahead and have that um, have that mind frame when I'm sending this message. Okay, you're picturing this. You're standing at the edge of your next big career, and the scene is set for something truly remarkable. But again, this will be in my presentations if you want to take a look at this. And I also have some more that I helped develop with one of the previous companies I was working with. I worked with them because they knew I was a screenwriter. So they had me work with their marketing teams to come up with some messages that can create brand consistency and also those that would be able to relate to candidates in a more impactful way. Okay, and then closing, crafting and engaging journey isn't just about reaching out. It's about inviting the candidate to be a part of into a story they want to be a part of. So you have to be compelling, not just informative, spark curiosity that leads to action, in with a call to connect, not just to apply. That way you can help turn that passive interest into an engaged conversation, and that's also the power of a well-crafted script.